each station had like a different theme. And then like they'd play like different projects from all over the ecosystem. So make possibly one could be like an impact theme, and we get like a ton of Loom videos and like presentations and highlights of like all these different projects and kind of compile them into a big reel that just constantly plays throughout the summit.
Well, just think about that. You know, how can we put something together that is kind of like a gift and says, here, use this if you want. This is the community impact. What does it look like? You know, how are we going to get this done? So this is the part where the community can come together. Sky is the limit on this, what we do with this. We have, you know, maybe 1 month to get this together. You know, the sooner the better. But out of Dr. Mihaila's meeting, we will have bullet points, you know, that we're going to communicate with her back and forth, write an email to IO saying that this is what we're going to do. And yeah, different ideas. But one thing was themes. What are the themes of impact? And what are ideas that we could be doing for presentations? Nori, maybe you just jumped in and we're just starting right off the bat, pre-recording, and then I thought we better start recording this. Anything on Dr. Mihaila's bullet points and summary?
Some initial ideas we threw out were like hosting around the world 24/7 Zoom room with different stages. And then we invite people to sign up, and we have hosts that kind of, as the sun sets in one locale, hosts can join from another. And then we just continually move the impact room around the globe using maybe the different town halls to totally coordinate all that. So we can pull them in to this effort, and then they can locally source impact projects or whatever you want to put on stage there. And then anybody can tune it at any time, and it'll just be going around the clock. Hopefully we can fill it up. And I was just doing the calculation. If we did, it's 24 hours times 15 minutes. That's only like 100 presentations around the world. So we may need multiple stages if we have more than that. But it's totally doable. I think a 24/7 event that just spans the world, everyone can participate, would be a super amazing thing to help coordinate.
Because Cardano Summit is 1 day long, or is it 2 days?
It might be three.
Three days, okay, because last year was 3 days, and they had recordings of events that were going on, replayed, you know, so I'd run through those little icon people and run over to this stage and watch that recording, then run up to the cloud and watch all the proposal presentations. So we don't know what's going to happen, you know, with it. There's a bit of a shuffle in IO, and actually it's Cardano Foundation putting it on. So we don't know what's going on, but if we get ready, last year caught us off guard, had no idea Veritree was going on, had no idea there was anybody in Impact. This year we have an opportunity to bring our community together and bring something to the surface.
So I had a call
with
Dr. Mihaila and Goodwall to think the collaboration with IOG, and spoke also about that. So she will invite us basically to participate in a few people from here to participate in the calls for the summit. So
nice.
A few of us can join. I don't know, I mean, not all of us, but together, but we choose a couple of people that can join and discuss and kind of coordinate between all of us. Just in the, or maybe we can have even a brainstorming session with everyone, but I mean, just for the first meeting. So that's one. And second, with Cardano Foundation also, we need to coordinate in parallel, I guess. So it's two different kind of entities. And they are leading, I think, as you mentioned, they are leading this conference apparently. Last year it was IOG, this year CF. So yeah.
Well, that'd be amazing to find out when it is, who can come, and make sure we have those invitations out there. So maybe you can draw in other communities like WADA, you know, the other, anyways. Perfect.
We can set up even a brainstorming call maybe with Dr. Mihaila and all the community. We can do also that.
So we have this really huge agenda to run through, totally all over the place. it needs to be reworked right now, so that we can figure out what we can get done in this next little bit. Previous agenda, is there stuff to come forward from that? We always have accounting coming forward, wrapping up Impactfest, rewards, remuneration, 1-year celebration. That's previous. I don't know if there was anything else that needed to come forward. We've got accounting, confluence, C4C elevator pitch. How do we represent ourselves? I think that's where this discussion ended up going this morning before pre-event or pre-meeting. C4C timeline, LATAM, mini Impact Fest, Littlefish, form to collect info, recordings. How do we get this all sorted out? Big problem. Many minds, many hearts. How do we get this done? What do we want to prioritize?
I'm lit up with the 24 hours of impact. The World Impact Blockchain Cardano Fest. I think that is something that I've wanted to do for so long. With World Tai Chi Day. World Tai Chi Day is just that people do Tai Chi, but I would love to do, yeah, so that's one of the things that I would love to, the Cardano Summit, like if that was the thing that we brought to it, simply because it talks about our vision, our little 1-year-old baby C4C's vision of time zones and languages. So because if we're trying to get a global collaboration and connection going, and we want to break the model that we, the broken model from before, like I think that is a very physical, real, statement. So where we put our money where our mouth is, like that organization alone would be like just to be like, oh yeah, you remember 2022 and they had that worldwide conference, asynchronously in all those different languages. 30-minute presentations every hour for the 2 30-minute presentations every hour for the 24 hours.
Okay, so this is something, a goal that we can have, like in 2 months' time, we're going to have this done, and organized for that time. I'm just thinking right now, today, we've got 45 minutes and an agenda. What topics are we going to actually tackle today that can bring us forward? I'm actually going to move something up here, LATAM, because you're here, Daniel. How can we support LATAM and Mini Impact Fest?
I think everything's set up. We opened an English breakout room and we only have 2 presenters, I think me and you, Melanie. So the best thing would be to promote so some English speakers fill out the breakout room. Other than that, I don't think there's anything more.
Promote to English speaking. And how is it for the rest of it?
Good. There's like 9 presenters in Spanish. So yeah.
9 in Spanish. Perfect. All right. So there's a job to do. Thank you for whoever was adding the extra R. Anything else? Any other updates on LATAM?
Nope.
So we're going to hopefully do a debrief, Nori, like you had mentioned, like you had done for the previous event. Can we do that next working team meeting, Nori?
For what? Yeah, we absolutely can. But
Debrief Impact Fest, Mini Impact Fest, or do we need to do that sooner before we move into birthday party?
we could do it next week for sure.
I think it
That's
feels good because LATAM will be done, and then hopefully we can also get other people that did do mini Impactfests to come to this debrief as well and
Mhm.
get some feedback. The one thing we didn't do was get presenter feedback from Impactfest, whoever came to present. We're lacking on feedback. That loop is kind of missing. Anybody have an Ikigai that way? Reaching out to people to ask for feedback about the events, bringing them together to this debriefing next Wednesday.
I'm gonna send out the feedback form with the email, with the thank you email. So that's where we that's where we're gonna get some feedback for sure.
Okay. Would it be good to incentivize participation with some gimbals to say, fill out the feedback, get 50.
And then if people can choose to take the reward or not, just as long as there's always that option that they don't have to, because some people may not want to do it because of that. But yeah, that means there's a D-work bounty set up for that in time for Simon. So Simon, yesterday he's got a gonna have a thank you email to the presenters by Wednesday, getting some feedback on that. We could add the bounty to that. And then by Friday next week, we're ready to send it out, right? Did I get that right, Simon?
I hope we're ready to send it out Friday this week, actually.
Okay. The thank yous to presenters, and maybe also not just the presenters at the event, hosts of LATAM. There's a whole bunch of other people that made this possible, including the proposal presenters, right? So maybe we have to collect some bigger list.
Yeah. Do you mind just a little bit about that, Simon, later? I think it might be a good opportunity because we need wallet addresses and some other stuff from the room hosts and the tech support and stuff to pay them out. If we could combine that into one form, maybe that'll give people a reason to fill it out because they're applying so that they can get their incentive rewards as well.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Okay, so feedback form, D-work bounty, and thank you email, all combined in one, and maybe an invitation to come to the debriefing on Wednesday. Would that be too much? What do we think?
Yeah, puts it all in one place. I know I'd prefer one email than many.
On Wednesday. And do we want to do the debriefing before? Nori, that would be a conflict for you. You couldn't come before our regular working team meeting, right?
On what day?
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. If we're gonna do a debrief, we should probably. Yeah, it does take a while to do a good one. Like you need a full hour usually.
Do we have an hour after our regular working team meetup, which would be 4 p.m. UTC Tuesday?
Could do if people aren't going to the Gimbal token PBL meeting.
4 p.m. UTC. Any objections to 4 p.m. UTC next Tuesday for the event debrief? Daniel, would that work for you? Good. Okay,
Yes,
4 p.m.
good.
Tuesday next week. And it opened us suggestions if we can do other things, but then we can have a decent amount of time to do a proper debrief and work on documentation, get all that done, because we tend to sort of squeeze all these things into with 8 other things during 1 hour. And they need them, they need the time. Okay, so debrief next week. So Simon, email, invitation to debriefing, feedback form, bounties, and working with Nori on that. And Nori, you're okay with setting up the debrief, the Miro board, all that?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, perfect. What's next? Accounting, do we want to push that forward here?
Maybe I have one quick thing, which is Ape and I think it was his sister. Yes, exactly, his sister. The I know you also always say that, Melanie, but I realized they created the infographic or the graphic. They created it in event 5, which is 3 events ago already. Maybe we can just decide on an arbitrary number that I'm sure they're fine with, and we can just send it to them. And
Can
yeah,
we do
get
that on Friday?
done.
Because I was hoping that was going to happen last Friday. And so let's make that priority first and foremost before we get into rating or finishing our homework. We go into that absolutely first, because that always seems to get bumped as well. So, and I think Friday's probably the time to wrap our heads around that. Start prioritizing who we need to pay right now. Forget analyzing it, forget everything else. Just say, this is it. Do we agree on this amount?
I'm not sure, is there anyone else from event 5 who needs to be paid? Because I don't have anything written down on event 5. I only started with this whole thing in event 6, and now we had.
So
event
maybe
7.
some homework in between now and Friday to find out who else might be there.
Not me, sorry.
Mhm.
Which
I'm really focused on Abe and his sister because I was working with them. And if anyone else knows someone from event 5 who needs to be remunerated, that
Other than the organizers,
What was event 5?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. I'm like, which one was event 5?
was that the onboarding before
yes,
Carbon?
exactly.
I think it was onboarding. So it'll be event planners, presenters, whoever was there. We could reach out to them and ask if, we're setting up this. So that's going to be a retrospective ask for payment. Once we figure out what presenters, what the remuneration would be for presenters, then we can reach out to them and say, thank you for participating in this. We have this bounty up. Do some way, not to ask, do you want this, but to bring it in a proper way to say, this is available. And here, maybe here's the bounty for it. And then that allows them to pick and choose whether or not they do it, instead of asking them, do you want this? Right?
Right.
We
Because
should
then
definitely offer, and then if they refuse or politely say, I don't want it, then we could ask them if they want to donate it somewhere or whatever they want to do with it.
right. So there could be a donation acceptance, but I think the other hiccup might be that, oh, this is a bounty. I have to go to D-work. What does this mean? And that might stop people from actually pursuing it. I like the idea of putting it in D-work bounty, because then we're working with D-work into our accounting system, real automatic payment. But there may be a hiccup, so there's a question on there. If D-work is an issue, here's another option.
We can definitely do it on their behalf. Like anybody can fill in anybody in D-work. It doesn't have to be the person. So as long as we have a
Perfect.
wallet address and somebody puts it in, then we can account for it.
Because I could just see someone going, oh my God, I have to learn another platform. It's not even worth this, amount of ADA or whatever. So let's, and then maybe there's a deadline on it too. So let us know by such and such a date. Otherwise, we'll assume it's going into a donation, or we'll close this one. Okay, does that work? Friday, shifting a lot of this to Friday, but that's our big day, C4C, GTBBL, accounting. So lots going on Friday. Andre and Miro, do you have anything else?
I think, yeah, Friday, it makes sense to do this on Friday. I was thinking maybe we can use this meeting. We aren't doing payments right now, but once we start doing payments, we can use this meeting to give like reports and then discuss the other stuff on Friday.
So once we get all our stuff figured out, right, then it makes it easier.
Yes.
A lot of, yeah, this decentralization, working with D-Work, openness takes a lot of work. So we'll get that figured out, and hopefully this month long, we're going to start seeing that happen more, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Priority payments and homework. For any of you that were there, Nori, do you want to just briefly, done by Friday? You want to talk about that since you assigned us the homework?
So we started working through the event's task sheet and doing what was called a group Oracle estimation, where we all estimated using Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13 basically means many or too many. So 13 is a big number. That means you should break the task up into smaller tasks. But we started to go through and we did the estimation, and people go 1, 2, 3, it's a 3 or a 1. And whenever there was big discrepancies between people, it was an opportunity for a conversation to clarify what actually we mean by each of the tasks. And it was all recorded. So I think those little conversations would be great to mine to create role descriptions for each one of these, because we did talk about what people do and how it's done and things like that. So I think doing that is going to be really helpful. We only got through about 5 of them, and there's like 50, I don't know. So it was clearly going to take hours and hours. So the homework was to go into the sheet, make a copy of it, and then fill in your numbers that you think for all the rest. And then we'll collect all those. And please get it done before Friday, because I'd like to have some time to collate them all. Just drop them into the Telegram chat as you finish. And we'll just look, and where the numbers match up pretty nicely, we'll just keep those numbers. Where they widely differ, we're going to talk about those as a group just to make sure we're aligned. So that's kind of the homework, is to go to the sheet, copy it, put in your numbers, and then be prepared to discuss the outliers on Friday.
And Simon, you dropped in the link, right?
Yes.
This is the document we're talking about, and it has to do with breaking down the tasks for events and trying to calculate the rating. So there's a rating column that says, what was it, 1 to 5? No,
Yeah,
1 to 13.
13. It's a difficulty rating. So it's not necessarily how much time it takes, but also how much skill it would require. So it's kind of a difficulty rating. And we kind of have some good examples of what a 1 is. So is a 3 should be like 3 times more complicated or time consuming than a 1, etc. So I think that's one of the key exercises, I think, to do to really get calibrated as a team on what effort different things take. So I think it's a really good exercise. It is a bit time consuming in the beginning, but once we get it done and internalize what a 1 is, what a 5 is, it's going to go really fast for anything else we do in the future.
Well, the thing that also came up during our meeting was, oh, that task has 8 different things that relate to it that would make it really easy if we got all these done before. Then it's just a copy and a paste. So the exercise is actually really amazing. The tab for where we were working though was on metrics. Was that right? I'm just opening it up now.
It's tasks.
Tasks. So if you go into the tasks tab, this is where we've set up all the different tasks, and the difficulty rating right here is in column M. This is how far we got. We got to row 6 after our discussions. If you make your own copy of this, you can add notes or comments to it, and then that's going to give us some good feedback. Because what happened is, like I said, there was 8 tasks that could have happened before this. So I'm going to start putting in mind, when am I going to do this? Before Friday. somehow. So
It's nice we have examples of 1s, 3s, and 5s. So that gives you kind of a range of complexity. We need an 8 if we can find one, and then we'll be complete. Because at 13.
I've had a couple.
Yeah, okay. Amazing.
So I'm just going to change that to green so everybody can find it real super easy. And then you can change it back if you want. Okay, good. Are we good to go with that one? So everybody knows what, and I think it's going to be helpful because this is also going to be an open source tool for anybody else that wants to do event planning. Sorry, my dogs are.
Yeah, and also, sorry. I just wanted to say also, if you see any tasks that you have done in the last event, feel free to put yourself in there. It's, we didn't do it, scientifically figure out who did which task. Newman and I, we just did the best we could, and we don't know exactly who did what, but yeah. So
how can you know unless you put it down? So unless you record it somehow. So great job, a lot of work for sure. Documentation tools. That's up next. Nori.
Last time we talked about a tool called Slab. It's a wiki tool. It allows you to create documentation really easily, add comments, organize them using tags. It's kind of cool. I'm still playing with it just to make sure that it kind of would work. But we're very Google Doc dependent. But one of the big issues is you need to know the link to the Google Doc or the folder structure to really find stuff effectively. And it's kind of hard to do that. So this wiki tools are used by many, many corporations and companies and organizations to organize their knowledge so that you can create pages and do onboarding. And it's way easier than trying to create a website and keep that up to date. You can just update the documentation, and it allows for collaborative editing and different things. So I'm just looking at different tools right now to suggest something, but Slab is on the top of the pile right now. And I'm playing with it by putting stuff in. One of the powerful features is you can go new document, pick a template. It could be a meeting template, and then poof, everything's pre-populated, and then you just fill it in. So we can start to have pretty standardized things, which we do with Google, but it's a little bit easier in a wiki software.
I'm calling it magic.
Or like event, you can say new event, and we can take all of our event roles and tasks and poof, they're populated, and we can create those templates and things. So I think it'll help as we move forward. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now.
Okay, I'm calling it POOF-MAGIC. So new document, POOF-MAGIC. So I like the sounds of this. Everything done for me. That sounds good. So thank you, Nori, for doing that. A huge amount of work on. And there'll be some educating some of us people that are slow to work towards new platforms, but I don't know who that would be.
And one of the big drawing points for Slab itself is you can integrate it with different tools like Google Docs or other things. And it will allow you to do a single search in Slab that will search across Google Docs. It'll search across the wiki and other things and find your information. So if you're looking for something, it'll make it much easier to find stuff. And that's kind of one of the killer features that I'd love to see, because it's really hard to find stuff in our folder. And I would love to be able to search it.
Beautiful. Okay, so anything else we want to bring up on this list to work on? Okay, so let's move this one up. Yoram, can you talk about what Littlefish wants to start doing tomorrow? Because we're going to do...
Littlefish. No, okay, so hopefully we'll be in time for tomorrow, but basically the discussion we have tomorrow, discussion about Ikigai and how can we start, which is happening already. I mean, we already spoke, we want to put Ikigai for C4C. So, yeah, so basically, yeah, we started to speak with Chakan in general about Ikigai as a concept, as a key concept, and which everyone is talking anyway. But basically, tomorrow we meet in the morning to try and see how we can maybe come up with this Ikigai for the afternoon already, for the community to fill up. I don't know if it will be in time or if the platform will allow, or yeah. But the idea is to start seeing, might be a good opportunity to start getting from people, if not all the Ikigai, at least, you know, we can start recording what people like and what they are good at somehow.
So we
That
need
makes
to
sense.
create an editable Miro board for this, right? For them to be able to use by tomorrow?
Yep, and they this is the email address that he wants. I'll post it. I'll post it here. No,
I mean, that can be great. I mean, if we can create that and let them, give them some space to take us through that and see how people can then connect and build their Ikigai, that can be good to start.
So who can create the Miro board so that it's set up properly and in the C4C account?
Does it just have to be blank?
it's yeah. I don't think he needs it set up. He just needs to have access to where he can edit it. I just am looking at the Miro board to see who's on there to create. I don't think I can create a board in the
You have to
Cardano
be
for
in the
climate.
C4C account.
Yeah.
So this is one thing that came up with the accounting issue with Miro. You know, they have this really cute little thing, add Nori to your team, add Simon to your team. Oh, so-and-so just showed up, add him to your team. Every time you press that little button, it's $7 a month added to a bill. And we only really need one member on this Miro board, which will be C4C. Yoram used his credit card to pay for this, and they actually charged him for 2 team members. So we've actually paid for 2 years. And all of a sudden we're getting this bill coming up for next month for 288 euros or US dollars. And it's like, hang on a second, this isn't right. So if you're in the C4C account on Miro board, be very careful. Yes, we want these people on our team, but not as a team member on this board, or we're paying ka-ching.
Yeah. It's
So-
easy just to log in as C4C and then
Yeah, and Nori, you got kicked off as a team member and I don't see you. You can be a guest member and that one doesn't cost us anything. And that allows that person to have access to those certain boards, not all of them, but whatever board they're on as a guest, they have access to. So that's a good way of doing it. Team members cost and they have access to all the boards. So if we can, you know, C4C log into our own account, then we'll.
yeah, just when you create a board, go to share, and then anybody with the link can edit, and then copy that link, and then we can share that freely, and it doesn't cost extra money.
Okay, I just signed on. I just signed on to the Miro board and with the Google account, and I'm creating the board now. And I can, that'll be good. We'll take care
Okay,
of that.
so once that happens, that person comes into the account now and they say, "Oh, Daniel just signed up. Do you want to add him as a team member?" Ignore that button.
Yeah, right,
No,
right.
don't do it. Don't
Don't
add,
do it.
he is on our team, but don't add him as a team member. This is a sneaky. I've emailed them and I said I do not like this. So
I have 2 questions. One, do you know if I was charged or not?
you were not
One.
charged for this upcoming one,
Okay.
but you were overcharged to begin with.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I would check it. But so I would charge with something on my credit card.
Yeah, so definitely submit those receipts, and then we have budget.
Yeah, no, I would check it. I didn't know. I was not aware of it. But it's fine.
Well,
yeah,
see,
it's
the
I
last time
think
I
I
was
know
in,
what the problem is.
hang
with
on, the
two
last time I was
accounts.
in Miro board, they said there was a problem with the payment. So I'm assuming that it got stopped. Otherwise, you would have been
Okay.
charged another 288 USD, which we would have had to backtrack on.
I think I
okay.
know
That's
what
good,
the
because
problem is.
normally I
Though.
need yeah, sorry, Simon.
I don't think you can have a Miro account or like a team with only one paid member. I think you need to have at least 2. I'm pretty sure about that actually.
Well, they have a charge there for a 1 team member at $92 a year. So I think you can have just one team.
Didn't you say they charged 2 members?
They charged Yoram to begin with because he had C4C as one team member and himself as the second team member, but we only need C4C. So if you go into their billing, you'll see that they have multiple options, and one of them is for a single team member. So that's what we're going to
Okay.
stick to.
Then
Yoram,
I probably mistook this for something else.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
and that's okay. And we can also bring this up on Friday.
Yeah, and the second thing, I don't know what happened, but suddenly I just cannot enter my Miro account anymore. So, like, it doesn't open for me Miro.
Your
my-
personal one.
Yeah, any of them.
So,
My Miro won't open either. I don't know why.
so that was because you got kicked off as a team member. So,
But
so we have to,
just
so you,
go Miro.com, it doesn't open.
Yeah, if you go to Miro.com, I don't have it open either. I can't use Miro right now. I don't know. I don't think it's related to accounts or anything. I think
no, that was the free account that they gave us to begin with for 3 months. And then all of a sudden, if you don't pay,
we're
you know,
saying that we can't even log into Miro at all. It just
Isn't it
spins,
a
right?
Chrome issue? I know Miro actually
Okay.
also has an issue.
Yeah,
Miroslav?
I think
it's a Chrome issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so there we go. Sorry, Andre, you did mention that. So Tivo's checked it out. If you're using Brave or Firefox, you can do it, but not Chrome. So then hopefully you can get in that. And let's get you back in, Nori, too, as a guest editor, Yoram as well.
I can log in to C4C if I need to get in.
Perfect. Okay, so that one, Newman, you did create this C4C Year 2 Miro board. And
Yep, I just called it C4C and Littlefish Ikigai workshop.
okay, so can you
and,
just put that in?
I'm going to
this,
share the link. Yeah.
Can you put it in the notes?
Yep, I'm doing
as
that
to
now.
what it is and what it's called, and then we can all access it. Okay, who dropped off? Miro dropped off. So we have, as far as the birthday party, the C4C tomorrow meetup, going to try and work on some sort of a spiral timeline with some events on this. We need this form to collect information. And I think that came up yesterday or at some point, Cole and Yoram, with the goal to collect. There's also the Miro board, Nori. At one point, we started that with why we're in Cardano. Can we bring that back to life? Why we're in Cardano for climate with the goals. Is there anything that we can bring up again to build on?
Maybe I can give a look. I'm not sure where those would be.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. Was that part of the C4C GTPL Miro board? Or do we want to just start fresh again? It's kind of a shame though, because there will be some information there already.
Here's from my notes. So we had a fund date strategy visualization, C4C token PBL number 1, and C4C values and mission exploration. That last one might be the one that you're talking about.
So this one, because this is all the how we collect our information, how we use it, how we can make use of this birthday party that we're doing. Can we combine? What do we need? What does Yoram need? You know, what do we need to fulfill the other proposals that we have? How can we make use of this? The other thing that came up was Newman did an elevator pitch about C4C for the new for Dan's Berlin event, and I thought, why is it that C4C doesn't have a one minute elevator pitch put together? So if you take a look at this recording that Newman did, it might be a good place to start and just recognize, oh, that's Newman's perspective. What's my perspective? This piece is missing, or this is how I would say it. It may be a good place to start, and that maybe we can come together and start becoming a C4C 1-minute elevator pitch that we can use to promote elsewhere. LATAM could use it, you know, Eastern Town Hall could use it. Who's C4C? Here's the intro video, right?
That would be great.
Mm-hmm. So the Miro board, you have the one that we already have. Maybe we can take a look at that. And do we want to dig into that tomorrow at our birthday party or during this month?
One thing I thought would be really cool to do at the birthday party would be just do a 1-year reflection in the style of the Way of Council, where we form a giant virtual circle of people, and one person has a talking stone, and then they talk about their year with C4C, and then they pass it to the next person, and then it just goes around the circle, so everybody has a chance to share how C4C has impacted them, or what they got out of it, or what they think after 1 year. And some of just the basic rules is there's no crosstalk. Whoever has a stone can speak, and we'll do a virtual one. And then I think that would just really bring all the voices of the community in, and give us kind of this kind of nice summary reflection of the last year from everybody's perspectives.
Beautiful. So do we need?
I'm not sure. Is the event open or is it of closed or?
Sorry, the meetup?
Yeah, the birthday party.
Birthday party, we haven't done the meetup description for it yet. We're kind of
No, I'm curious,
finalizing.
is it closed? Is it just us or is it everyone?
Everyone that comes to the meetup is welcome to show up. So can you fill in more details on this in the agenda, Nori? 1-year reflection, you called it something? Council and the stone.
Style of Way of Council.
Good.
Council. Is that right? Of council?
And
then
you need to calculate if you need to get more.
But he didn't tell us.
oh, Yoram, you're on.
He doesn't need to tell you.
You're not-
Yoram, I'll just put him on mute for a second in case he doesn't plan to be. So we could use this as a portion of the event for the whole month long, right? So how many minutes do you think we would use this, or just whoever shows up and it takes as long as it takes?
Yeah, and some of the intentions of Way of Council is be lean of expression. So don't take up 10 minutes. There's a lot of people to speak. So speak from the heart. Everyone there, listen from the heart, and then be brief.
Is there a time limit?
No time limit, but we may have to remind people to be brief. That's one of the intentions.
Okay, so there's no official time limit. So we're not cutting somebody. They've got 30 seconds more and we're not ringing a bell to finish them off, but
No, but there should be a facilitator, and the facilitator could do something like that.
reminder at
Reminder.
what's reasonable? 7 minutes, 8 minutes?
Per person, no, I'd say 2
Reminder at 2 minutes?
2 or 5 or something.
Okay, so it's that brief. So this is good to know. You want it really brief.
Yeah, if we have 20 people and each one takes 5 minutes, that's a long time.
So 2 to 3 minutes. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes, just be brief, whatever comes to your heart though. And then some of the guidelines is take as much time as you need, but no more, and be lean of expression.
Can you introduce this? You'll introduce this.
And it's okay to pass. If nothing's coming up for you, you can pass the stone. So you don't have to speak either.
So, and then this will be ongoing for the month. As just a portion of our process, and it may carry forward. It may carry forward into a small mini part of this. Okay, so this one I believe we can start tomorrow, right? Are you ready to start it tomorrow, Nori?
Yeah.
And Littlefish and Chakan, that would be tomorrow as well. What else do we need tomorrow? The form to collect information, Cole. Is there any progress on that? You had some questions.
So sorry, what form?
The questions that you needed to collect for a proposal. Why you're here? Why Cardano? Why Cardano for climate? There's a form, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I'll share it in the chat 1 second.
Would that be ready for tomorrow to give out?
Yeah, it should be pretty much finished already. Maybe just a couple little tweaks.
Do you need feedback on it?
Yes, but yeah, why not? Yeah, here, I'll share it right now.
And that is waysofcouncil.net. Nori, is that the right link that that Newman put in?
Possibly. There's a whole bunch of links. I'm actually going to copy in a document that I've written that outlines the process to make it easy for people.
Perfect. Yeah, drop it on the agenda if you could.
Okay.
And this is the form. Do you want us to go over it really quick right now? Get it done?
Sure, yeah. If you'd like, yeah, definitely.
Can we do that, you guys?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, get it done. This is the finished form, right? Or is this the editable one?
This is the editable one, if that's the finished one.
Okay. This is, yeah. Oh, so something that Newman showed me is if we're in this form and we are part of C4C and we want to edit it, there's a little edit this form pencil at the bottom right-hand corner of the document. I didn't realize it was there. So pretty cool because we can go in and edit it if we wanted to. So,
Looks like when did you join C4C? Oh, when did you join the Cardano community and when did you join Cardano for climate?
so from the beginning, the purpose of the form, the name and photo associated with your Google account will be recorded with when you upload files and submit this form. Only the email you enter is part of your response. So right off the bat, this is Jacob Dickow from the very beginning, the C4C. What's the purpose of this form? What's the purpose of this form?
Right.
So we would want to edit that. Do we want to do that right now?
Sure.
Cole, are you good with that?
Definitely, yeah. We can, yeah, do whatever. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, and then we're going to wrap up really quick. I'm not sure if there's much else to do. What's the purpose of it? So form description.
Yeah. To collect some, or to sell it, you know, for the birthday party. We're celebrating C4C.
So hang on a second though, Newman, because this is Cole's form.
Okay.
It had other purpose.
No, yeah, it was really just to get like responses for like compiling everyone, like why they're here video into a why we're here video, all the responses. And
Oh,
but I guess
right.
it does kind of connect though to the birthday party in a way. So we could explain like we're trying to highlight this at the birthday party, or
Why are we here? Collaborative video. Is that what it is?
yeah, pretty much. And yeah, this was like Yoram's idea, to like kind of for the 300 like people celebration to kind of get an idea from each person like in the group why they're here and why they want to be here, and yeah, it's just stuff like that.
So
You know what? This why we are here in the Ikigai. I mean, if we spoke before about purpose, right, of the community, and why we're really here on Cardano. I mean, that can be very powerful if many people will record it all over, not only from Cardano, right? I mean, that would be very interesting exercise to do. I don't know if we can scale it, but imagine that everyone from WADA, from Gimbal Labs, from everyone, we start having faces, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. What's your name? Why, if you want, why you are here? Because I think there is a challenge today that we need to show why the community is here.
So does this work? Why are we here? We are collecting information to create a collaborative video to celebrate what? Do we want to use that? What do we want to say here?
I think to celebrate, you know, decentralization or celebrate. I don't know. In my view, if we make it general, I mean, like the success of the sustainability event was that really that everyone came together. That's at least the image. If you look on the 2.5 minutes video, I mean, it's so impressive. That's my view at least. So because we want everyone to share it.
So the ground up social and environmental impact movement. I'm just putting words in here just to get something down. Let's fix this. We are collecting information to create a collaborative video to celebrate the ground up social and environmental impact movement within Cardano. Will that work?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, so then we collect our email, why Cardano, by Cardano for climate. Now this is to recognize that we're putting it in. I'm going to just make this a lot smaller so that it doesn't look like it's all about us. So I think that's the minimum that it's going to go. When did you join the Cardano community? Why are you a part of? Can we change this to what brought you to the Cardano community?
Yeah, you can make any changes to this
Because
one.
why is it's sometimes you don't want to use it. Why, what brought you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that does.
When did you join Cardano for climate? There's also what brought you and what brought you here, because this is just a real simple question, right? And what there's how did you get to Cardano for climate too, if you want to find that information, but that's more metrics like
Maybe what's your story of joining Cardano for climate, or what's your journey to joining Cardano for climate?
Yeah.
oh, how about how did Cardano for climate become part of your story?
I like that a lot.
There you go.
Become part of story. And you know, there's also the English language translation. Does this make sense in other languages? Now we've also changed these. Have you got responses?
I haven't checked. Let me check real quick.
You have no responses, I can tell you right now. So there's
Yeah,
no
no
responses to that. Once we get them, does this make sense? So this is a video. You're asking somebody to
kind of like reflect and then record themselves, like kind of saying those answers.
right. So please record yourself sharing the questions above in landscape view. Do you want a name? And do you want a little story from people?
Yeah,
First?
I think it would make sense to say, what's your name, so we know who's sharing these responses, and then.
So then just, do we want a little bit of and 1 minute? Is it, how long do you want these videos?
It probably should be like 15 to 20 seconds each.
The video itself?
Yeah.
And so each one of these should be 15 to 20 seconds.
I can try to, I'll record myself today, and I can add in an example of the video for people.
Because I'm thinking about the Conma pitch. and they have 1 minute introduction. Okay, Andre had to drop off. 1 minute for introducing yourself, your proposal, you know. So let's try and break this down. What exactly do you want in this little video? And let's keep it all the same.
So yeah, maybe just like your name, why you joined the Cardano community, and then how you joined C4C. Maybe just keep it to 3 simple, quick questions. So
Yeah. So
instead,
when, okay, because there's also the connection to who they are. That's one piece that we kind of miss. That's when you're collecting information like this, your name, why this, you're not actually asking about that person, and we're missing the connection with that person. So that's why I'm thinking there should be a little piece in there that says what, you know, what, maybe that's what brought you to the Cardano community is here.
yeah, maybe instead of when did you join the Cardano community, what brought you to the Cardano community, and then how did Cardano for Climate become part of your story? And we can get rid of the when you joined.
I think what brought you to the Cardano community is kind of a different question, but I think it's more informative for us as well.
It's your why,
I
right?
agree. Yeah.
And okay, so then your name, what brought you to the Cardano community? How did Cardano for Climate become part of your story? Please record yourself sharing the above responses. And how, so we are collecting information to create a collaborative video to celebrate, see a new, who's going, who has to leave? Okay. We're collecting information to create a collaborative video to celebrate the ground up social and environmental impact movement within Cardano. How long should these be?
Oh yeah, let's say try to keep it under 30 seconds.
Okay, so okay,
Or should
so
it even be quicker, do you think? Like 20-second little, or like 15-second little like clips?
That's really
it's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard.
So is someone gonna come in and cut these all up and edit them into this video?
Yeah, I can do that.
Are you gonna take the whole video and just add it, or are you gonna take parts and pieces of it?
I would probably take each person's like clip. So like
one right
like
after the other.
Melanie, and then Yoram, and then Cole, and then Nori.
Don't put me first, please. I see myself sometimes
yeah,
in
that was just an
that big
example.
screen, and it's like, oh my God, I am so sick and tired of hearing my voice. Only if it's in double speed does it work for me. If it's in regular speed, it's like I'm putting myself to sleep. Okay, so please record yourself sharing the above questions. So what's the expectation is this, right? What are we asking everybody to do here?
To reflect,
Melanie,
so
there is a gimbal token today, a meeting, quite interesting one also.
So
I don't know if we want to.
Let's scoot off to that, because I think we're done. Other than this,
and maybe we can join in 1 hour again if needed, or I don't know, because I mean the gimbal, they're restarting kind of strategic meetings now today.
Okay, so can you drop the link into it?
Yeah, I'm sharing you the link. So, and it's now at start.